All right, welcome to another edition of the Sail Noodles podcast. I told you guys I'd be doing more of these, so please click that subscribe button. Follow us. It's on YouTube, on video or audio, anywhere you get your podcast. So my guests today are two identical twin, basically full-time cruisers that have been cruising since they were little girls and living aboard full-time for the past 20 years. Met them here in the marina in Ponce in Puerto Rico, getting this boat ready to go. And I thought they kind of had an interesting story, so I invited them to come on for the podcast. So please welcome Silvie and Sally. Hey guys.
Hi.
So how are you guys doing?
Doing good. I'm Sally. This is Silvie. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You were probably wondering which is which.
Right. It can be pretty hard. Oh, you know what? I screwed up here. Let me do something real quick. Let's go. There we go. Didn't have y'all framed up on the split screen.
Okay.
But so all right. So tell me a little bit about your background. How y'all got into sailing and everything.
Well, we were born in Costa Rica with our fathers from New York, our mothers from Spain. And ever since we were little, Dad had sailboats. He was into sailboats. He ran the marina in Costa Rica, the only marina on the Pacific coast at the time. So we have always liked boats. We haven't gone too far on them, but they have always been a part of our lives.
Okay, so when you guys we'll get into it first here before we kind of talk more about the sailing and the cruising and all that experience. So you guys have your own YouTube channel, and you're kind of like famous regionally around the world in particular areas, like in South America, I know, and some other places and all that, because you do some. Now explain exactly what it is with your, what your YouTube channel is and what your other social media investments are there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a nonprofit in Florida. It's called Sponsors of Hope, and we produce some 30-second PSAs, which are motivational videos, and they come out, as you said, in Africa, Latin America, and the US and the Caribbean. So yes, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
All right,
but mainly on television. Actually, our YouTube channel, we've never promoted. We've never done anything with, so we have very few views. All our views are mainly on mainstream television.
All right, well, we'll put, so there'll be links in the description for all your social media, and I pop it up on the screen there. But go ahead and say the names of them. What do you have?
Sure, sounds good. Sponsors of Hope.
Okay.
And that's the name on YouTube. You can find us there, Sponsors of Hope. And for Twitter and Instagram will be the same.
Okay.
At the end of each video you'll find on our YouTube channel, it gives a little more info. So for anyone that's curious to know more about us.
Okay. Well, you definitely have, you definitely do have a unique story there. So you grew up on sailing around with your family, and so basically, how many languages do you speak?
We speak English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. Four languages.
Yeah. And so basically, where have you lived most of your time? Where has that been? I mean, and in travel, like, where have you lived on boats? Like, you've been in Puerto Rico for a year now? Where have you been before that?
More.
Oh, more.
We've lived most of our lives between the U.S. and Brazil, and sometimes in Europe as well. We went to school in France, so that's why we speak French.
What ages were you?
We arrived in Puerto Rico for the first time 7 years ago.
Okay.
And we discovered Puerto Rico, fell in love with the people here, and
we were living in Florida at the time. So.
Yes. So we made a transition from Florida to Puerto Rico. We still have our base in Florida, but we spend a lot of time in Puerto Rico as well.
We leave our boat in Puerto Rico always.
So speaking of living on the boat, so right now you've got, so you two guys on the boat, and then your dad and your sister.
Right now, she's our stepsister.
Stepsister, okay.
Yes. Dad it's between Florida and here as well.
So what is it like living I love my family. But if I had to live full time with my parents, I would go crazy. How's that living with Dad full time on a 50-foot Beneteau?
Well, we get along pretty well. We do have our
moments. It
yes.
can be challenging at times.
Yeah.
But we have learned to deal with
Coexist.
it.
And to learn about communication.
Right.
Really. It's
Well,
something that we never stop learning, I think.
That's something that's really important on a boat. I mean, communicating, because if you don't communicate well, because you can't hold grudges on a boat. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. You can't. You need to learn to forgive quickly and move on.
Yeah.
And
over it.
you're happier that way.
Yeah, because you can't get away. I mean,
Right.
you know, if you say, you know, if you have an apartment somewhere in Texas or Florida or whatever, and you know, you can get away, go to the coffee shop for a while or something like that, or go spend a weekend doing something else with a friend or whatever. On a boat, it's a little more difficult because you're in or you can go to the other side of the house or something. You know, if you're living somewhere. We're in a boat. I mean, it's pretty small.
It's a very
space.
small island.
Yeah, it is very small. So, what kind of boat is it? Tell everybody what kind of boat it is.
It's a sailboat Beneteau 50. We
it
really
has
like the layout.
yes.
We each have our individual cabins, whereas the boat before was the same size but had less cabins.
So
This
y'all
one
have to share a
has
cabin?
5 cabins.
This one has 5 cabins
Okay.
and 3 heads,
Well,
bathrooms.
We didn't share cabin, but not all of us were on the boat
Oh, okay.
at that time. So now this one, since all of us are on it a lot of the time, we're happy it has so many cabins. It has 5 cabins and 3 bathrooms, heads. They're called on
Right.
a boat, right? Everyone knows.
Oh, I still get it. I mean, like, I know it's called a head, and I know it's called a galley, not a kitchen. I know it's a salon or a saloon, whatever you want to call it. I get in trouble for that, but I'll say stuff all the time, and they'll be like, "It's a head, not a toilet." Or I'm like, "Come on, guys, it's just
Right?
it
Well, no,
doesn't-
that's true.
I know,
In the
but
boat world, you have to speak the proper boat lingo.
yeah, but
And
you know,
terminology.
I mean, yes, but if you mess up again, you don't have to. Anyway, it's fine. But okay, so growing up on so I think a lot of the viewers and listeners and stuff like that maybe have kids or are thinking about having kids, and they maybe want to do the cruising lifestyle and living aboard, and maybe they're not sure they can do it with kids.
Well,
so how was it for you guys growing up on a boat?
Something that was really good is we were homeschooled part of our lives, and
But we were actually pretty big when we started living on a boat. We were 15.
15?
yes.
So
Well,
it's not really that we
I
grew
mean,
up on the boat.
but for me, I mean, that would be the age that I would be most concerned with for having kids on a boat. 'Cause-
Actually, we were older than that.
oh, were you?
Yes.
16.
16? But I
Yes.
mean, like, I've always thought that, okay, you have 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, that's okay, because especially if you have brothers and sisters, they all play together. But once you become a teenager, you know, you're interested in boys or girls or whatever, and you have your social life and all that. So as moving on, leaving all that behind and moving on to a boat at 16, what was that like?
Something that helped a lot is having projects. That's something good that our dad did, is he taught us how to do things on the boat. We see other people with their kids on boats that don't teach the children how to do bright work, how to sand the wood and help with the
I think that's putting them to work. I mean,
for
making
us
them
it
do.
was fun.
Okay.
Like, oh wow, we were restoring, making a little a piece of wood that didn't look that good, bringing it back to life, and just knowing how to do that gave us a sense of accomplishment at that age.
Learning different things that you normally don't if you live in a house.
Right. Well, where were you when you were 16 on the boat? What country?
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
Yes.
Okay.
We were in
In Florida. Okay.
Yes.
Were you able to? I mean, were you in one spot in Florida, or were y'all moving around on the boat?
Well, we didn't move that much. We were mainly in a couple of spots. We sailed from Houston to Louisiana. We spent some time in Louisiana, and then we stayed in Florida.
Okay.
And then
Well, we got another boat which we restored.
yes, we helped our dad rebuild a boat after Hurricane Katrina.
What kind of boat was it?
That was an island trader, a motor sailor, 46. And that was a very big project. It took 5 years.
Wow.
But we learned a lot.
Were you living aboard at the time while you were doing it?
No.
Part of the time,
Part of the
not
time.
full time. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And so, were you able to have like, social life with friends outside the boat and all that? Okay.
Sure. Yes. A boat is it's not like another world.
Right.
Everyone was envious of our our lifestyle. So
It's like a floating condo.
Right.
And that's what it was like for us, a floating condo.
And then Dad got this one, our most recent one, and he bought it in St. Martin.
Okay.
So we helped him sail it. Stopped on the BVI's and then St. Thomas. Spent a couple of months in St. Thomas.
Nice. Where's like your favorite place that you've been on a boat? Where have you most enjoyed spending time?
Well, our latest, most favorite place for me was Curacao.
Curacao.
Yes.
Okay, that's now that's just north of Venezuela, right? Or is that?
Yes, that's the ABC Islands,
Right.
Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao.
Which is below the hurricane belt, so
Right.
it's pretty nice. You don't have to
So
worry
So
about
that was pretty
hurricanes.
cool.
When was
we went
that?
there to get away from Hurricane Maria.
Oh, really?
Which hit
Okay, so it's 4
Puerto
years
Rico
ago.
really bad. So we were there. We sailed south 2 days before the hurricane hit.
Wow.
Here.
And so, how much time did you spend there?
2 months, about
months.
2 months.
So a lot of the area there, I mean, because that area, I know the ABCs are different, but like, Venezuela, you really shouldn't. There's a lot of piracy and stuff there.
Oh, yes.
So was there concerns around sailing around Curacao or any of that?
No, Curacao is really safe, but we were aware of not getting too close to Venezuela. Curacao is a Dutch community, and it's very nice because there are people from 29 different countries. So their food
lot of
variety is really nice. And something interesting is just seeing them able to live with each other in harmony. They're all happy.
They get along. We didn't notice any racism. And with so many different nationalities together, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess when you're on a small island like that, you kind of learn. You got to learn how to get along. I mean, obviously they've had problems in the past, but you got to learn how to get along on a small island like that.
Yeah,
the
the
food
fresh
was nice.
fruit and vegetables come from Venezuela. Yes.
They have a nice big assortment of chocolates.
In the
You go to
supermarket, there's a whole aisle for chocolates.
So you guys got excited about that. Huh?
Nice.
All right. So any future plans on sailing anywhere? Or are you going anywhere?
Right now, with the COVID situation, we have put all our plans on hold.
Yeah.
Since many of the places are closed still. So we're just waiting for now. Keeping busy meanwhile with our nonprofit.
Right. So.
And maintaining the boat.
Oh well, yeah. It's a boat, right? I mean, there's always going to be work needs to be done on the boat. That's just the way it is. If you're not fixing it, then it's sunk. Because yeah. But so you guys you've been doing the TV. Well, okay. We need to talk about the twin stuff first. So that's got to get a lot of attention, being identical. And then sometimes I've seen y'all dress separately, but sometimes you do dress alike. And I think what is it like being what is it like?
It's fun. They never dressed us alike when we were little, so now we enjoy dressing alike, and it's an icebreaker.
Yeah.
We go into places and people talk to us.
We're best friends.
Yeah.
We also have our problems sometimes, but we're best friends.
Okay. So who does the show? Y'all go shopping together and pick out the clothes?
We do. Yes.
For the most part, or if I'm by myself and I find something I like, I make sure to get two of it, which is not
We
always
get
easy.
two.
Okay, you always get two.
It's not always easy finding two identical things of the same size.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but it's cool.
that's kind of, down here in Puerto Rico, you can get pretty much anything you need that you would be able to get in the mainland of the States, but it's just a little bit harder.
But even in the U.S., you go to a clothing store and there's things different sizes, but to find two the same size, it's not always as easy as you would think.
So how does that work? If somebody starts, I guess if y'all go to the gym together and stuff like that, I mean, what if somebody starts working out, gets really buffed, does the other one go, oh crap, now I have to do it? Or what if somebody eats a little too much? I mean,
Yes, I notice usually I gain weight easier than Silvie does.
She's always telling me to eat more.
Okay.
So we do try to stay the same.
Okay, so okay, all right. So you encourage her to eat more. Okay, that's good. Well, siblings are.
And if we're apart for a while, like I was in Florida for a few months and she stayed here, and we started looking different because we were eating different. So I would call her and tell her what I was eating so she could
Really?
kind
So
of do the same.
you could tell that you were starting to look different.
People were able to tell us apart. Then when I came back, they thought we were just sisters. They
Yeah.
didn't think we were
Oh,
twins.
oh, really?
And now everyone thinks we're the same person.
Well, I mean, I've known you guys. Well, I guess we first met a couple weeks ago or something, but really only recently spent any time talking. Whatever. I maybe just I can't. There's a few very small differences, but I can't quite tell them yet. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess if it's kind of like with my dogs. I don't mean, but like they was like, how do you tell them apart? I'm like, well, I can tell them easily apart. There's all these little differences, and so but I spend my whole life with them. Whereas I guess with family and loved ones, stuff like that. Yeah, there's always gonna be little things that you can tell a difference on.
Yes, people closer to us can tell us apart. After a while.
Even though once in a while my dad will still mix us up.
Oh, really?
Yes, actually
Yes.
that happens maybe once a week.
I mean, is it when he just walks into a room and he's like, "Hey, Sally," and you're like, "I'm Silvie," or
Yes.
or is it, or if he's sitting there talking, you're having a conversation, then he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, you're not who I thought I was."
Well, actually both happen, but the first one happens more often.
Okay.
Now over the phone, he'll never get us mixed up.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I guess I haven't. Yeah, I'll have to listen maybe a little more careful to see if there's a difference there.
Yes. There he can feel who we are more than looking at us. So.
Yeah.
But it's funny, sometimes he'll be talking to us and then all of a sudden he'll stop. Oh wait, I thought you were Sally.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
We have fun.
So your dad's doing that. So what is it like? Because we kind of talked about it the other day. Because I'd be interested in it, like the dating life and all that. How being a twin? I mean, how does that? I mean, is it intimidating for guys? I mean, or is it
Maybe cool. I think they see the cool factor more than
okay?
seeing it as intimidating. Now, for twins, every identical twin's dream, I think it is to find identical twins.
Have you done that? Have you?
We haven't.
Okay.
There's a twin festival in Ohio,
Okay.
but they canceled it for coronavirus. We were going to go this year.
Okay. So you guys, identical twins. You can find them on their Twitter and Instagram and all that. If you're identical twins, send them a message. Maybe it'll. So okay.
It's better if you sign up for our YouTube, and then at the end of our videos, there's our WhatsApp phone number, and you can send us a message there.
Yeah. So what is that? So you do your PSAs, and you've got a WhatsApp that you send out. You said thousands or millions, or what's going on with that?
Millions of people get that through television, and the WhatsApp number is actually for receiving our daily reflections.
Okay.
We write a short daily reflection every day and send it out via email, WhatsApp, and Twitter, Facebook.
And the videos come out in what, about
34 countries.
Wow.
over 40 television channels.
How do you distribute all that? Like, how does your television stuff get distributed? I think you told me just a little bit of the other day, but
We talk with the TV stations either on the phone or
By email.
by email.
Contact
and then,
them and then send them samples. And
so you have like 30 or 40 individual stations that you talk to, or is it? Oh wow,
Right.
that's got to be a lot of work.
Yes, and actually we have been contacting Brazil lately, so every day, well, these past few weeks, or actually since coronavirus, we have been contacting different television stations and increasing our viewing.
Well, yeah.
everything we film in English, Spanish, and now we're starting to film them in Portuguese as well.
Yeah. Well, Portuguese. I mean, so Spanish and Portuguese are somewhat similar, right? It's not. It's if you know Spanish or Portuguese, it's kind of easy to learn the other one, right?
Oh yes.
Okay.
If you know Spanish, you have a big advantage.
Right. Well, so I mean, have you ever thought about going down to Brazil and being little celebrities down there or anything like that? I don't know. I mean, you kind of are, but I mean,
we lived there for a while.
Yeah.
That's-
We're not looking to be celebrities.
Oh, okay.
No.
but we do.
Our main purpose for those reflections is just to share something positive
okay.
and a positive message. There's so much negativity in the world,
Right.
so and some hope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that is the problem with like social media in general, is that when people share something on Instagram or whatever, there's filters, and they took 10 pictures to get the one that's good, and then they didn't show that they stubbed their toe the minute before, and so you see stuff on Instagram or YouTube even, you're like, oh man, they're living the perfect life, and as you kind of look down on your own life, and you're like, wait, you're just seeing what's that one moment of that one day, and it might have even been rehearsed or something, you know what I mean? Right. So I think people, don't get me wrong, social media is my life, basically, but there are downsides to it.
It's good to be real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, that's why on my show I don't there's nothing scripted or anything. I'll have a general idea of what I want to do that day, but it's not like, okay, now you say this or do that. So that's kind of the way I like to do it. And I think it comes across.
And speaking about favorite places, going back to that, Brazil is beautiful. If you've never been there and you have an opportunity to go. I
have been. What's some of your favorite places there?
I fell in love with Brazil, with the Brazilians.
Yeah.
The latest we went to was about 2 years ago. We were in Sao Paulo. And it's so clean, so modern. We were surprised. It was a very nice experience.
I've been there twice. Once for work. Well, both times for work, but it was during Carnival. And so we're like, okay, why don't we stay an extra 4 or 5 days to do Carnival? And that was pretty cool. We were in Rio de Janeiro for that. So the beaches there were just beautiful. There was a lot of fun. The people were great.
The people are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, there can be some crime there.
Right. We need to be careful, in every big city.
Yeah. So it is kind of sad when you're driving from the airport in Rio to, downtown Rio, and you see the favelas there, and it's just,
you see a lot of poverty.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's just
contrast.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's like a square. I don't know how many square miles of just corrugated shacks.
Yes.
So
that's a little shocking.
Yeah.
But something that impressed us was to see how happy people were, and we met people that all kinds of people, from upper class to lower class, and they are happy with what they have.
Yeah.
They're grateful. We have a lot to learn from them.
Well, sure. I think that's money doesn't buy you happiness. I'm sure it helps, but
and they love dancing.
Yeah. It's the way it is. A lot of as long as you have your basic needs met, food and friendship and stuff like that. And water, clean water, food, and power or something like that. As long as you have a good outlook, you don't need more than that. As long as you have some of the happiest people I've ever met have been the poorest.
Yes, sometimes people that are struggling to make ends meet don't have time to give in to depression.
Right.
So that's not a problem.
Yeah, that's one of my theories is why there's so much strife in today's society. Is that even if you said, what, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to do anything, somebody's going to give you food and water and take care of you. You know what I mean? You're going to get on welfare or something like that. So there's no, whereas a couple hundred years ago, it was like a struggle just every day to survive for most people, and so you didn't have time to think about depression or I should be happy or I deserve this or something like that. Whereas now people are they're sitting there, they get in their echo chamber on their phone.
Too much idle time.
Yeah. And they sit there and they watch the Facebook feed, and then everybody's in their own echo chamber. So if Facebook sees that you like this post and it's political or something like that, and Facebook knows how much time you sit there on that post, then it's going to do more posts like that, and that reinforce that same view instead of giving you the opposite view and letting you compare and contrast. And so it's just that's why we're so divided today, I think, in society, unfortunately. So
that's true. Yes.
I don't know.
People see, like you said, they see everything perfect, and then they compare it with their own lives,
right.
And then they feel unhappy.
Right, because they're well, why don't I have that, or whatever, I hear people say, or not hear, but see people write something on Facebook, something like, I deserve this, or I deserve to have a good relationship or a boyfriend or girlfriend or something like that. I'm do you? Did you actually do something to deserve that, or are you just saying that, So you guys get out there and be a positive influence and inspiration to people doing all that. So.
Well, we encourage a lot. We do encourage young people and everyone to do volunteer work because just going to the DR and places where life is harder in general than it is in the U.S. helps us be more grateful. And just seeing that, an image is worth a thousand words.
Right.
We spent 3 months in the Dominican Republic, and we helped an orphanage that has 1,500 people. And just seeing those dear people, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So it's really touching. There's nothing.
Well, and it puts into perspective just how good you actually have it when you get to go help other people and experience that. You're like, oh man,
it's like I should never complain about anything, no matter how bad I think I have it.
Exactly.
No matter if the relationship is on the rocks or anything.
Right. I've got it pretty good.
Everything is relative. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you went down to Curacao, right for Hurricane Maria, to get away from Hurricane Maria, and you stayed down there for a couple months. I mean, I guess there was no reason. It would have been actually a detriment for Puerto Rico if you came back at that point, because then you just would have been...
Actually, what we did while we were gone is we coordinated in Florida, our sister there, and brother and friends, filled up 6 40-foot containers. And since Puerto Rico was without communication, the phone lines weren't working. So had we been here, we couldn't have been able to make that happen. So we stayed in Curacao long enough to coordinate everything, to get the boat to transport the stuff. And then as soon as the boat left there, and when we knew it was going to arrive, is when we sailed back to be here when the boat arrived.
So you were there when it arrived? And
then, yes.
We went house to house. We distributed the stuff in person.
Yeah.
How was it difficult? I mean, because the bureaucracy, Puerto Rico, it doesn't have the most efficient bureaucracy. So how hard was it getting that stuff into the country?
Well, we heard that a lot of containers were getting stuck in San Juan, in the capital. So we got the boat that was bringing our containers to come to the west coast of the island, to a smaller port. And we did need some permits from the Senate, but we got them through some friends.
Through connections.
Yes. And everything went smooth for us, which was...
We got a lot of very helpful people, like just in the port itself, all the guards, security guards helped us unload. The director let us use the lobby to prepare the bags.
That's nice.
Everyone did what they could. It was a team effort.
So what was it like? I mean, just the island and the people and all that, like after Maria. I mean, it was no power on most of the island, right? And no electricity, no water.
No water,
That's
no
right.
power.
The trees were without leaves. It looked like they had been burnt.
They were all black.
Yeah.
Because the storm had hovered over the island for so long that it literally burnt all the trees. It looked like a war zone.
Wow.
Yes, and to get up to some houses, it was challenging because there were fallen trees also. So they had to clear the way, and we went to some areas up on the mountains where the water had gotten up to the top of the roof. You could see the line. When we went there, it had already gone down, but we could see the water line on the top.
Wow.
And they hadn't seen anyone with help until we arrived there. So,
wow, really? And that was months later?
People were very thankful.
Yes. 2 months later.
2 months later. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, are there any lasting effects? I mean, is there stuff that still hasn't been done in Puerto Rico?
They say there is. We don't see it now. Like we drive around, and overall everything looks better than it was before.
Okay.
They've replaced the electric grid. In many ways, the island is better.
Okay. Well, good. Well, we need the electric grid down in Texas right now. Most of my parents live in Dallas, and they haven't had power maybe about half the time. And they have 2 97-year-olds living with them and all that, and it's 10 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. So even the mainland states can have power problems.
Yes. We were in Florida for Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
And then we helped after that too. Right. So, but how are your parents coping?
They're good. They're doing all right now. I think it's starting to warm up, and the power is maybe being turned on a little more often now. they both. My dad is 80 years old. He fell and hurt himself pretty bad. I mean, just superficial. Thankfully, nothing broke. But I mean, he could have easily, broken something. He has a big old black eye now and everything. So my mom fell once, and my grandmother and her husband are both 97 years old or 98.
Wow.
And so they, but they're doing all right. They just put a bunch of blankets on and so they got blankets and put them around the living room to close off all the entries into other rooms, and they have a fireplace in there. So they've been kind of camping out. So. And then Goose, the viewers be noted, Goose had pancreatitis, which in a big dog like that can often be fatal, but he's recovering, so that's good. I was actually almost I'm glad I did now. I mean, it was been hard getting there anyway, but I was almost going to fly back to Dallas this week to take care of Goose. So.
Oh wow.
So, have y'all ever have any pets or anything on the boats?
That's something we haven't had. One of the main reasons why not?
Why is that?
Because there's so much hair already that goes into the bilge.
Yeah. You guys,
Actually, my dad said, we have enough hair on this boat.
Well, the kids next to us, we just saw it. The boat next to me, they have a chicken, and it's a one-legged chicken. I mean, how do you have I don't know how you have a chicken on a boat.
They rescued the chicken. They found him when he was a little chick.
And had they already eaten?
And a dog had.
Oh, okay. I thought they got hungry one day and cut a leg off. No, drumstick. No, okay. That was a joke. They didn't need this. But so a dog had gotten the chick, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So now they adopted him. Oh, is it a him or a she?
Him, Oreo.
Oreo.
They named it Oreo.
Oreo. Is he gonna become like a big old rooster? How old is the thing?
About 3 months old.
Okay. So is he gonna become a big old rooster then?
I don't know what when do they become an adult?
I don't know chickens. I have some friends that raise chickens. They would know, but they have hens. So I don't think they have a rooster. So I don't know. But
how about you? Any pets? Oh yes, other than the 2 dogs.
Well, yeah, no. I just Maverick and Goose, and that talk about hair. I mean, but okay, even though they're Labradoodles, they are half lab, and so they still shed quite a bit. And that I mean, I don't know, having you two and them, man, it'd just be a fur ball everywhere out here. I think it'd just be dust balls, or what do they call those, tumbleweeds of hair going through the thing. I don't know.
It can be a problem.
Yeah. Does it cause problems like in the bilge, like clogging stuff up?
It hasn't clogged the bilge pumps.
Okay.
And that has been a worry. It was at the beginning.
Okay.
I think Dad worried a little bit about it, but it has. Well, we keep the boat pretty clean. Every day we try to pick up all the hair.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that you have to do on a boat is, I mean, keep things clean and organized, because it's such a small space that
there's a place for everything, and everything should be in its place.
Right. Well, I'm still having an issue with this boat because I've got my one room it's actually a pretty small cabin, but that's kind of my junk room at the moment because I don't know where to put all that stuff. Like I've got to find storage places that I can put it so I can open that cabin back up. But yeah, I mean that's why, because I used to not be very clean or organized, and living on a boat you kind of have to.
You have to, yes. You go sailing and anything that you leave loose will go flying.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. How often
every year?
What's that?
Well, every year we have to do spring cleaning because areas where we don't reach often get mildewy with the humidity.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that lately.
Yeah, and that's the thing also is that I'll go through every now and again, and if I haven't used something in 6 months, I throw it away. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, there's no reason to keep it because it's just taking up space. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's kind of liberating though. I mean, like everything I own is on this boat. Mm-hmm. Whereas like, somebody's lived in a house for 30 years. Gosh, they're going to have so much stuff. If they were trying to move, that'd be a nightmare.
When we left our house, we had 2 of the biggest storage units full. And we were so happy when we finally got rid of all this stuff.
So is that it?
You wouldn't imagine how much clothes we have.
Yeah.
So just now we had to wash everything because stuff that we haven't worn in more than 6 months, like you said, get some musty smell, right?
So what do you guys do? I mean, because the closets, the hanging lockers, sorry, I mean, in boats are pretty small, especially like 4 and 5 cabin boats. So where do you put all your clothes and stuff?
Well, this boat has a lot of storage area.
Okay.
So we do keep our clothes in boxes.
Plastic boxes.
And that helps keep them protected from the humidity.
Mm-hmm.
So we've tried different things. We used to buy these oversized Ziplocs, thick 3 mil Ziplocs.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very practical. Like to find something, it wasn't very easy. Now we've started inventorying everything.
Oh, really?
It's the best way. Our tools.
So you have a list,
tools,
and you have
all digital.
And you know where it is.
So we can search for something.
Really?
By lockers.
Yeah.
The tool locker, the equipment locker, even our clothes.
Well, that's a great idea. Gosh, that's got to take a long time to do.
The pantry.
Really? Even the pantry?
The food.
Yes.
The
Because we have to make sure to rotate the stuff, right? So.
Yeah. Wow, y'all are way more organized than I am. So, a lot of people I've seen people use those they're the bags, like vacuum seal bags, like
Yes.
I don't know. There's vacuum bags. Have you tried using one of those or anything?
We haven't. No, just Ziplocs and
heavy-duty Ziplocs.
desiccants,
Yes.
humidity strips.
Okay. Yeah, the humidity. Yeah, that's it can get, because a lot of people don't realize, like, you leave a boat for a while, and if you don't leave the air conditioner on, I mean, it'll get moldy and mildew in there real fast, like within days.
That's right.
And
And any equipment you have, the heat will damage. So you have to take extra measures.
Yeah, whenever I leave any of my boats, if I'm leaving it at a dock or something, I'm gonna be gone for a while. I'll turn the air conditioner on to like 80 or something like that,
Yes.
so that at least it kind of keeps it a consistent temperature, because it can get bad.
Yes.
Like my old boat, Naughty Dogs, I didn't have power, and so it sat for about 2.5 months. So somebody's bought that now, and they're living on it. My old boat, because it was damaged in a storm. But I had left it for 2.5 months, with no power or anything, and so it was getting pretty musty in there,
Yes.
So.
And if you can have someone to watch it for you while you're gone, it's always a good idea.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of boats sink.
Oh, really? Here in Ponce?
In Ponce, one in Florida, and the one here was just because a valve failed.
Right.
Or a hose came off from a valve,
Yeah.
from an open valve. So it's always good to have someone check on it.
Yeah, and something like that can sink a boat in minutes too. I mean, so it's even if you got bilge pumps,
yes.
It may not be able to keep up with it. So
Yes, we have replaced all our valves, all our hose clamps. So we double up on the hose clamps.
yeah. So who does the maintenance on the boat then?
We do.
Yeah.
I'm the mechanic. She's the electrician aboard our boat.
Okay. So you guys, so you can actually work on an engine and get it going.
I have rebuilt 2 engines.
Okay.
The
Our
one
last
on our other boat I took down to the bare block
Really?
completely.
Wow.
Yes.
What kind of motor was that?
It was a Ford Lehman
Yeah.
120. Yes.
Really? That's the same. I had a 135 in my old boat, so that's pretty. Well, that's a good. That's an easy boat, an easy engine to work. I'm not saying it's.
It was a nice project.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Of course, my dad oversees everything because
Sure.
he knows so much more than I do. But now I understand how engines work, and I don't feel intimidated. Like I do the maintenance on our oil changes and everything.
And so electrical. Hey, I want to put solar panels in. You want the job?
She put the solar panels. She did all the.
Oh, really?
When we got the boat, yes, it had just very few halogen lights. So I replaced them for LEDs and added 20 more lights.
Okay.
And 110 volt outlets also, because our boat was rigged for 220.
Ah, really? Yeah.
So
I guess it was a European
She
boat then.
transformed it.
Yeah. Oh, you say you bought it in
St. Martin.
St. Martin. Okay. I was thinking. Yeah, that's right. You said that. Okay. So, and that's a French place, obviously. So I don't know. Do they have 220 power there? They're in 110. Are they?
Yes. Actually, both, right? French side
Oh, really?
has 220 and the Dutch side,
Okay.
I think it's 110. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't remember anymore.
Yeah.
But for sure, 220.
Well, so they're. I think. Well, they were open for a little while, but I think they closed down again for COVID. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
They closed
Yes,
again.
they did.
And then Puerto Rico is well, still open for Americans, but you got to get a test before you come, which I think is all right. So, and they have a pretty, actually, if you include all 50 states and then add the territories, like Puerto Rico is like the third lowest incidence of COVID down here, like per capita, because they locked down hard for a while in the beginning, and then they just did again too.
Just make sure to wear your mask if you're downtown.
Yeah.
The fines are pretty steep.
Yeah, so I went for a run today, and I mean, I keep my mask with me, but I'm going for a run, and I'm staying away from everybody. And like this morning, but I see a cop sitting there, he's looking at me, and I'm like 30 feet away from anybody, and I'm running. I mean, so.
Well, we wear it like if we're working out, we just wear it above,
below,
or just below our mouth, so that we can put it up if someone gets closer to us. Yeah. Because it's up to $5,000 fine. Yeah.
Really?
And up to 6 months in jail.
How much?
$5,000.
$5,000 fine.
That's downtown.
That's downtown. So like what?
But any public place, they could fine you if you're not wearing a mask.
Is it? I mean, like, if you're around people, or what if you're, like, in a park and there's nobody within 50 feet of you?
Anywhere.
Anywhere, really?
Anywhere. You just have to wear it. If someone can see you, they think you have to wear it, because we thought the same as you. We thought that we're just walking, we're far away from everyone, and we got a couple of warnings.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah, I mean,
at least for now.
Yeah, at least for now. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it is, I mean, I've had COVID, so like, I mean, I'm immune to it now, so I'm not really worried about it, and that means I can't give it to anybody anymore right now, so.
Good to know.
Yeah, I had COVID back in December, so I mean, I was sick for like 2 days. And then my parents actually had it. Both my parents had it, and my grandmother had it. And my dad and my grandma had 0 symptoms. My mom was sick for 3 or 4 days, and I was sick for a couple of days. So, yeah. But I mean, it hits everybody differently, though.
We're still trying to not be around too many people.
Yeah. Well, I think
just in case, because you never know. It didn't hit you hard, but some people we know it did hit very hard.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you can never tell. I mean, like, I have a friend. Yeah, he was sick for like 2 weeks. So, and then I have other friends that like didn't even know they had it. They got and like, oh, okay. So, it's a weird thing. Hopefully, with all the vaccines coming out, I don't know. I hope they. One thing I'm hoping they do is figure something out. I mean, like not like a passport, but like a identification card. You know what I mean? That like if you can show, hey, I've been vaccinated, or I've had it and recovered.
Yes, actually, just the fact that you've had it doesn't necessarily mean you can't get it again. We have a friend in Florida that got it at the very beginning of COVID, pretty bad, and now about 4 weeks ago he got it again. So there are, yes, it is possible. Like from everything I've read, I mean, you're always going to hear anecdotal evidence of or incidents. Okay, because it's only like the vaccine is only 95% effective, right? So maybe so 95% of people won't get it again, but 5% will. And so you're going to hear about, out of millions of people that got it, you're going to hear about 50,000 people that got it again. Okay, with everything. So like, yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, so when the vaccine comes out, from the things I've heard now is that, or they are out now, but like, so those that have had it aren't going to get both shots. They're just going to get one as a booster. But also the stuff I've read is that the people that got it in the beginning, 95% of them are still showing great antibodies now today, almost a year later. Pretty good statistics. Yeah. So I think with the people that have had it, plus then the vaccines and all that, hopefully, I'm hoping by the end of the summer, people will be a little more relaxed. I think we hope so. I think when they ease the restrictions here, Puerto Rico, because people like to party down there in Puerto Rico. I think they're going to go absolutely crazy. Oh yes, they do know how to have fun here. Any occasion to party. Yeah. Have you run into any other identical twins down here? We met a couple, that were identical, but didn't really look that much alike. What is statistics wise, like how common is it? That's a good question. I think I read 1 out of every 13 bird. What was it? Actually, I
Okay, it's got to be pretty rare though. No, that's right. It's got to be pretty rare though. I mean, I
identical twins are more rare than fraternal twins.
Yeah. I mean, I have my cousins that are fraternal twins, but they're not identical. Actually, they look pretty different.
A lot of fraternal twins, but not many identical.
Yeah. So, I mean, you ever had any strange reactions from people seeing you the first time? They're like, wait, what is it? What is this? Play jokes on people?
On a daily basis, pretty much.
Yeah, really? Okay.
People think, well,
sometimes they get freaked out. They see one and then the other one arrives and what happened here? Am I going crazy?
Well, no, I mean, the first time I saw you guys, I was walking off the dock or something and y'all were walking by and y'all were wearing your workout clothes and I had like the same stuff and I'm like, what is this? It took me a second to process what it was. So,
yes.
You have any good stories about jokes you played on people with that?
Well,
that you
we
can tell?
always had the same classes in school.
Okay.
When we weren't being homeschooled, when we went to regular school, we wanted to have the same classes, and sometimes they wanted to separate us.
Oh, really?
But we had to insist, and they let us stay together, which was nice because then we could share our homework.
Right.
We could help each other with.
So
homework.
would one of you do like the math homework and one do the English homework?
Kind of. She was better with algebra than I was, so
okay.
I would kind of look to her for some answers and to explain to me some things that I didn't catch as easy as she did, and for other areas I would get easier. So we would share.
We complemented each other pretty good.
And I think we talked about it the other day, but they say some. I think you said you guys did say some identical twins or even fraternal twins will have their own little language or something when they first start doing
When we were little, we had our own language.
Yeah.
My dad and my mom would sneak up on us and just listen because we would stop talking when they came closer.
If we saw anyone else, we would stop talking, they said.
Really?
But they said we would have the longest conversations.
Really?
Yes. And no one could understand anything.
Were y'all speaking English at that point or another language?
It's different, something unique, something that
No, but I'm saying were y'all already speaking
our mother tongue is Spanish.
Okay.
Since our mom is from Spain and we were born in Costa Rica.
So we were speaking Spanish.
You were already speaking Spanish
spoke Spanish then.
Okay.
Our dad didn't speak English to us until we were older.
Okay.
But they wrote down some phrases, and then we looked at them, and they don't resemble anything to Spanish.
So we don't know how we could have known it.
Okay.
We had a room where we kept our toys, where our parents kept our toys, that had red carpet, and we called it Calco Calica.
Okay.
Why would we call it that? I don't know.
What does that mean?
But did you know that calico is a shade of red?
I did not know
How
that.
did a
I thought it was a cat.
know that?
No, I thought it was a cat.
Calico.
Calico cat, yeah.
Calico
Okay.
cat.
I don't know. I don't know. It's the brain is a strange thing, you know what I mean? It's a weird organ, how it works and processes everything.
Yes, that's right.
We wish we remembered that language.
Should have got like a video. Should have got like a video of it and or audio recording of it. That'd have been cool.
Yes.
All right. So, what are you guys looking to do with your YouTube channel? So you are doing the devotional, shorter stuff, and that's mostly on TV.
Yes. Oh, well, this one we would like just to share with more people, for people to know about it, to share it with their friends and family.
I mean, what kind of videos? Yeah, sure. But what kind of videos are you trying to make with that? Like vlog style stuff or adventure or
the channel we already have?
Yeah.
That one is going to continue being just the positive messages.
Okay.
But from now on, we're going to start also building a different type of show, which is we're going to start recording our life.
Right. So somebody was saying, one of you does the Premiere Pro and somebody does the Afterway. Who's doing what here?
I do the editing.
Okay.
I studied in television post-production.
Okay.
Yes. And she's our graphic designer.
Okay. Well, I could use you on After Effects. I can do basic stuff, but especially if it's got a script that I can follow. But After Effects can be quite difficult to do.
And our father's the producer. He's been in film and television all our lives, pretty much. All and Anita does sound.
Okay.
Yes. Well, so we have a good team.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got between the whole family, you got it covered there. I don't know. That's cool. So now you said you have what? How many brothers and sisters do you have?
Well, it was my dad raised 4.
Okay.
Four
But
of us.
there's actually 8 of us. They split up when we were little, and my mom raised 4, and my dad raised 4.
Okay. All right.
When we were 9 years old.
Wow, that's a big family though.
It is.
Yeah.
Just one set of twins.
Yeah. I think it's I think don't they say twins runs in families though? Do you have any extended family that has twins?
Our grandmother was a twin. They say twins go every 2 generations.
Okay.
So we can't have twins, but our kids could have twins.
Don't say can't. You're gonna
There
get-
are exceptions.
But there
Yeah.
are exceptions. Yes.
No, I was home a year ago or so, and I met a woman that she was pregnant at the time. Since I followed her on Instagram, so whatever, she had 4 identical twins.
Oh, wow.
And she said there's only
Quadruplets.
quadruplets, but they're all identical.
Wow.
And she said I think I was like, were you on like some kind of fertility thing? She's like, no, it just happened. And she said it's like, I think it's only 1 out of 64 known cases in the world.
Wow.
And so you think about with 7+ billion people, I mean that's pretty low odds to do that. But I mean it's pretty amazing. But gosh, I
Wow.
couldn't imagine having 4 of them all at once. Man, that'd be a lot of work.
Yes.
Definitely couldn't do that on a boat.
I don't know.
It would be a little creepy scene 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 all dressed alike.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes we feel a little weird when we dress alike.
Nah, you gotta embrace it. Embrace the weirdness. You gotta no.
But we do.
Okay, good.
We're grateful
Good.
for it.
All right.
So how long are the podcasts?
We normally do about an hour. I mean, hey, we're about 50 minutes in right now. So, is there anything else you want to add or talk about or anything? You want to promote anything?
Well, we would like to leave that question open for the future because we will be wanting to promote our future.
Okay. So people can
YouTube.
find. So I'll link to your. So down in the description in the video, there'll be a link to all your social media and your YouTube channel that you have and all that. And so we'll promote that. So give them a follow, and you can follow along with you guys in the future.
That sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming, and it was great talking with you. And I'll hopefully see you on the water sometime soon.
All right, and thank you for having us in your show.
Sure, no problem. All right, take care.
You too.